Welcome for those that have joined us. I've got you all on mute as I kind of go through and answer questions, and you can feel free to take yourself off mute, or you can put a question in the chat, and I'm glad to help you with that. Okay? So the question today was, I see people are starting to work on their marketing plans and press kits. And can you give me more information about what is that all about? So one thing that I want to do is kind of talk about the marketing plan, why it's important, the press kit, and how you can create one. So in the Facebook group, I've started having you guys think about about you. Who are your readers? What about your book? Let me just make this bigger. Okay. Can you see that okay? Good?
Yes.
Okay. So you've seen me starting to focus with you on, who are you? What's your goals? What's your story? Start kind of thinking about it in ways that you can articulate to others. And this is all about starting to get your story out, starting to feel more comfortable sharing your story, because that's a really big part of what you're going to have to do with marketing. And coming up with, and understanding what your platform is, your reach. Some people have lots of followers and friends and colleagues, and maybe even an existing email list that you'll have as a start. And if you don't, start building it now. Start sharing your story, start opening yourself up, because you need to build relationships and you need people to care about your story. So you have to start getting it out there. And so that's a lot of the reasons why you've seen me posting and asking all these questions in the Facebook group. And then there's also information about, do you know who your readers are? Who are the people that you're targeting? And I'll give an example. I have one of the authors I work with very closely is Darlene Ford, and her book is it's called A Barrel Racer's Dream. So it's horses, barrel racing, rodeos. So she has a very specific reader base. It's people that have grown up around that or love that, or maybe they're fans of horses, fans of that, that Southern cowboy life. So, her readers are going to be very different than perhaps, like I see that we've got Sarah here today, who's writing a story about her dog. And it's a adorable doodle dog who is her service dog. So her fans and her readers are going to be very different than Darlene's, right? So you need to really dig into who are your readers. And these kinds of background things that we need to think about helps us, once we've kind of got our heads around who they are, what age range are the kids? What are the parents struggling with? What are their pain points? What are their likes and dislikes? What kinds of things are they buying? What messages resonate with that group? So a message for for Sarah's fans and people that will resonate with her book would be very different than the people that are going to be looking to purchase Darlene's. And so we have to wrap our heads around, number one, we talked about our story. Number two, the fans, and you probably have heard it referred to as, your avatar. Who's your avatar? Who's your perfect reader? And then what are the messages that resonate? And how does your book help with their pain points? I'll take an example for Darlene. There are people who love the rodeo. They grew up down south. They love horses, and they want to read more about it. They want to teach their kids more about it. So they're, that pain point is, gee, I wish I could, provide more of that background to my children. So this book of Darlene's provides them with that that sense. Now, it also has another kind of vein to it where it's about persistence and practice and not giving up and trying hard and being a good sport. So that is another kind of message that resonates with maybe a slightly different type of reader. So using barrel racing and everything that this book kind of walks through, it gives kind of another pain point for maybe a slightly different type of reader. So there's not just one. Go ahead, Sandra. You can take yourself off mute if you have a question.
And this may be in the Facebook group somewhere, the map that you're using. Do we have access to that?
I will absolutely make this accessible to you. And when you're ready to create your own, I'll just take this and create one for you and invite you to it so that you have your own. You can edit it, you can do anything with it. And I did this for Sarah and some others that are starting to work on their plan. You can come in here and actually fill in these answers and be able to actually create this. This is really a brainstorming document. It's called a mind map, but it also can help you to visualize the different plans that you're working on. And what I like about it is once you've done with a section, you can just get rid of it, right? So we talked about who you are, who are your readers, and then understanding your book and really thinking about what niches that it fits into, what makes your book special and unique for those readers who are, the perfect readers out there that would really benefit from this book. What makes your book special and unique? Who are you going to sell it to? So really just start thinking, because in order to pull a plan together, a marketing plan, you have to have do your research and understand what's going on, be able to draft your messages and think about how you're going to position your book, right? It's about how do you describe your book? How do you talk about it in a way that's going to resonate with your perfect readers? Okay. And getting to know, how do they like to communicate? There are some people like, I know, Sarah, you mentioned that you have a good following already on social media, right?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
So your readers, would you say, are going to probably be, as you start introducing what you're doing, that's kind of a way of getting them excited and working and kind of bring them into your journey.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. My mind map is growing as we speak. Like, it has helped me really visualize, and it's so nice because I get little ideas like, oh, this person or this website might be interested, and then I just go write it down right here and have it all together. So
Yeah.
it's all been helped things kind of be cohesive, like between my Facebook followers, Instagram, everything, and people I would like to get in touch with. It's really been a great tool for me so far.
Right. So this first part is really just thinking about the background, your research, and do a little bit of thinking, like look at other books out there in your genre. Go look at the bestsellers. So here we're talking about research, right? What are they doing well? What are they not doing very well? Like, all you have to do to answer that question is take a look at their reviews. Go look at the 3, 2, and I don't know about 1 stars. 1 stars are, you can take it or leave it because some people are just ridiculous. But if you're looking at 3-star reviews and people are saying, I liked it, but if it could only this, or like, you're going to see opportunities. Like, people, this is like a bestseller in your niche, but they missed on the mark on a couple of things. And what did they do really well? Because you want to make sure that you are also bringing forward high quality, and you can learn a lot from what the bestsellers are doing. Take a look at their covers. Take a look at the way that they describe their book and they position it to the audience. They're doing something right if they're on top of the bestseller list for that category, that niche. So just, again, research, read. um, and start to find people, influencers, that can help you to when you're ready to kind of spread the word. There are, for example, I know some influencers, I will share the list with you guys, that do like children's book reviews, and they'll promote you on their blog. Go ahead.
Just so everyone knows, also on Instagram, you'll find a lot of kids who are actually doing the blogs for children's books. Even if the reading level is younger, they are doing all ages up to their age and sometimes a little more. Like I'm following this one, I think she's 7 or 8 years old, and I think she's over 3,000 followers, and she does all reading levels. So you will find kids who want to strive and be big on Facebook, Instagram, and they will review your books, especially if you send them to them after, once it's published.
Right. And so we want to start building relationships with these folks now. Like, for example, this influencer that was just mentioned, find that person, follow them, comment on their postings, so that when it's time for you to reach out to them and try to create that relationship, it's not like, who the heck is this? I've never seen this person before. Jennifer, you had your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out marketing myself, and I've been told by quite a few people who have asked, and I've been told that you should try not to pay for reviews or pay for mentions. Do these people, like these kids and these influencers that you reach out to, do they do it for free? I don't know.
Many of them do it for free. Others will have a nominal fee. Like some of these kids have gotten started. I know of one that does. She's the daughter of another influencer, and she does it for like $20, and she puts that towards her college fund. So there's things like that that are kind of cute, and But if somebody's charging you, hundreds of dollars to try to give you a review or get on there, then they're at, maybe they have millions of followers and they can charge that, they can demand that. You want to get to the sweet spot where they've got thousands, or maybe 10,000, 20,000 followers, but they're not the people that are like demanding the most of you. So, and I stumbled across, sometimes I just find people who are talking about the topic that I'm doing. For example, I went to Instagram and I typed #bullying and found there was an influencer I had never seen before. Her influencing is mostly for makeup. Like, she does makeup and things like that, and has a ton of followers. But she was sharing a story about bullying and how that's impacted her. And she shared it because her child had a bullying incident. So I took a chance and I commented on her, and I dropped into her direct messages and I said, this is a topic that's really close to my heart as well. I would love to send you a book, because her son was the age that I wrote my anti-bullying book for. So I sent her a link to a free ebook, and then later just checked in a couple weeks later and said, how did you like it? She said, I loved it. Would you like me to post something on my group about your book? And I said, oh my God, that would be amazing, because she has wow, I think there was 500,000 followers or something. So now I'm still 2 weeks later, I haven't seen anything. So I'll just follow up with her again and say, oh, hey, I'm just following up, because she's busy. So it takes time to build that kind of relationship. And following her and continuing to comment on her things, because that's important. Where for these influencers, they want engagement, and that helps raise, it provides a higher level of demand when you've got a lot of engagement. So that is the way that we can give back to them and share their posts, things like that. will go a long way for them. So just, it's been months worth of building this, and eventually I'll get a post out of it. Well, you don't want to be doing that when you've just clicked publish on your book and you say, okay, now what? Oh, I got to go try to find some influencers. You want to be doing that and building those relationships now, so that when you're ready to go, maybe you've already signed up some blogs for a blog tour. For example, one of my authors knows that she's going to be releasing in September. So she can start going through contacting some bloggers and saying, hey, I have this anti-bullying book, or I see that you blog about this topic. I would love to see if you'd be interested in being one of the blogs on my blog tour in September when I'm ready to launch. And, usually they'll go back and forth. If there's a fee, they'll let you know, but then you're scheduled, and you stay in touch with them, and you kind of, it's part of your plan. I'm going to do a blog tour. I'm going to appear on some podcasts at strategic times before my book launches. And you've got time to start building relationships, finding the right people, and setting up time and creating that schedule for yourself so you can actually do that. So this is just the background part. Then when we get to creating the plan, so you've got your research, you've got some ideas. You also need to talk about, for each person here, what success looks like to you will be very different than success for somebody else. For Darlene and her rodeo book, her barrel racing book, she wants to sell a lot of copies. She wants to be going to rodeos and selling at vendor, as a vendor. So, everybody has different goals. I've had some authors that I've worked with that said, I'm just documenting this family story about my mom, and I want to create this book so that I can give it to her grandchildren. So that plan is very different than somebody else that I met with today who said, my goal, success to me, is to supplement my husband's income. I need to make $2,000 a month. So my goal is to work as an author to the point where I can get an extra $2,000 a month added to my income. Great. So at least you need to know, what does success look like for you? Is it becoming a best-selling author? Is it about having, some personal accomplishment you've always wanted to do? Perhaps it's to write a book for your children or for your grandchildren. That's how it started for me. So getting, actually documenting, what does that success look like for you? And then the plan is, what do you need to do to get you there? And then think about who can help with that. Who are the resources that are going to help you? You may have friends and family, followers like Sarah has already. You have maybe acquaintances. So my cousin's best friend knows this person who is a barrel racing champion. And that actually happened. With another author said, oh, my best friend's cousin knows barrel racing champion. I might be able to get you some contact information. And the two of them connected, and that's in the works. Darlene may end up with a testimonial out of it, or another individual who will post, who's very, very famous in the barrel racing arena, that can get some more publicity for Darlene. So these kinds of things, start writing them down. Who's going to be, and, do you need a project manager, somebody to help you marshal through? You can count on me to help as we're going through this book always. If you need a marketing person because this is a hard thing for you, sometimes it's better to connect with somebody who's just really good at marketing, so that when you put something together, you get a little feedback from somebody who's been there, done that, and can provide you with some help there. And then as you go through some of these other things, what will you do to make your book more likely to sell?
Do
First
you
of
have
all,
any recommendations? Sorry to interrupt. Do you have any recommendations for marketing people?
so I have somebody that's going to come on Thursday. I've got a sales and marketing guru who's kind of, well, I call her a guru because I think she's just amazing. But she's going to speak to us on Thursday, and she is a member of our work group. She is just, her marketing and sales is her profession. So she's going to be there to talk about what she's been doing, how she's been doing it. I also have another gentleman that I work with for my own marketing purposes, and I can schedule time with him so that he can come in and talk. And there's also a number of marketing resources. So I'm just going to put here, Lida McClellan is publicity and marketing expert, and she has a Facebook group. So she has a Facebook group. She runs workshops on marketing. Then
Can you, April, explain how you're doing what you're doing right now?
oh, sure. So if I sit on this leaf, I just clicked on it, right? So where it's got the blue around, and I hit the insert button, it's going to insert a new leaf that you can then type into. If I insert again, it's another, so the pressing the insert button. Or if you're here and you right click, you can also, you can delete, or you can, I thought there was an insert ability here too. But yeah, so the insert button is probably the best way. This
Okay.
here also, like if I click, if I'm highlighting something and I click this plus sign up here, that will also,
Where's the plus sign?
it's right at the top of the page. Are you seeing where my cursor
Yeah.
is?
Yep,
Yeah,
I
that
see it.
plus sign. So if I'm here and I click the plus sign, it just adds just as if I press the insert button.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Sometimes I
That's
take
what
for
I need
granted.
help with. I'm like, oh, that
Yeah.
looks really easy.
Yeah. Sometimes I take it for granted that people will know how to navigate. So thank you for calling that out.
I don't.
So Tara Carosi will be appearing on Thursday, and we can talk, she's going to talk a little bit and just share some of her experiences and what she's learned over the years on marketing. I also have, it's MJ, what's his last name? I'll leave it like that. I'll replace it with his name. I put MJ, April's marketing guy. He is my sales and marketing and business mentor right now. And I'm sure that there are many others that I have on my YouTube station that have come in and out of these work group meetings. So let's see how much these folks can share before we determine, what additional external guidance. But I do have somebody else, Stacy Bauer. Stacy Bauer is an author who has done a phenomenal job with releasing, I think she's got 4 books right now, and she's a natural when it comes to marketing. She has a course that she just put together that highlights all the marketing things that she has done, and I think she's charging like $27 to just go through. It's like a Thinkific course where you can just go in and watch the different episodes. But she's also in the broader Facebook group with Jay and Diane. So the Facebook, so I can put contact information.
Sorry, I have to go, but thank you so much for
You're
everything.
You're welcome. Take care.
You too.
So I will add some contact information for these people so that and by the way, when you're doing this, let me do, here's Facebook. Let me do Stacy. This is Stacy. So here's her contact info, right? So if I want to save this when I'm doing my mind map, here's Stacy Bauer. I just go and click on this little arrow here that lets me put a link. So I'm just pasting the information and clicking the check mark. And now I've got a little, let me just zoom in on this so you can see it better. So I added a link. So now next to Stacy's name, I have a little link that shows where I can find her. And maybe you could put an email, you could do whatever. So as you're filling things out, this is brainstorming that happens over time. You may find websites that are very close to what you're doing. For example, Kathy Markath is doing a book that introduces ASL and uses American Sign Language in the story. So she's got a number of websites and Facebook groups and things like that are people, like-minded people that are learning ASL, or they're deaf communities that will really embrace this book. So she could very easily make a list of them on her marketing plan and add the little links, and then later go back, after you've got a pitch or something that you want to like type up, here are the words I'm going to say, and I'm going to send them to all of the bloggers, and I'm going to send this pitch to librarians. I'm going to send this one to, podcasters. So, you need to know who is in your niche, who can you target, and asking other authors in the group, if you let people know and post on the group, hey, this is my niche. Does anybody have any contacts or any ideas of people that might be a good fit for me to reach out to? Because we all have information that others can use and to also grow their marketing plan as well. So how are you going to make the book more likely to sell and more likely to be embraced by these folks you're trying to build relationship with? Make sure you've got a high quality book. Make sure you're visible, that you're communicating and that you're posting and that you're doing things you need to do. When it's time to list on Amazon, you want to have a nice attractive listing. And grow your email list. Like, start collecting email addresses, friends, family. It's really not very hard to put up a little one-page landing page that will say, if you're interested in following my journey, sign up to my mailing list, and you'll get, when the book goes out, you'll be one of the first ones to know. Start pulling that list together and really focusing on your email list.
Can I have a question about that?
Sure.
So would you do that? Do you have to set your website up for that, or do you do that through Facebook?
So there's a couple of things that I've done, and I'll show you. If you go to Mailchimp.com, Mailchimp will give you they allow you to make a free landing page that will just capture people's email addresses. You can sign up for a free account. I think it's free up to 3,000 emails. And then once you hit 3,000 emails, then you have to start paying for the tool, or just get your list out of there and put it into something else. So you can go to Mailchimp, which I'll add the link here, mailchimp.com. You can sign up for free. And then when you do that, I'll just log into mine if I'm really who I'm saying I am. Okay, so with Mailchimp, you can create your own mailing list. So here's campaigns. Create. You can create a landing page. You can create a sign-up form. And be able to actually have your email list work through. So here's some of the audience for mine. Hold on, let me see. Campaigns. You can also do a campaign, so you can actually go through and, you know, be able to do like auto responders and things like that. So it gives you lots of functionality. But first and foremost, just create an email list and that landing page, and then you can capture people's email addresses and putting something on your own website. Let me see. So here's a copy of my first book. I put a little trailer, which you don't have to do, but a copy of the book. This is when I say a 3D rendering of the book, this is what I mean. It kind of looks 3D. This is a nice little marketing tool for your press kits. And all I have on this page is, your book is waiting, where should we send it? So I'm sending people to this page when I say, hey, do you want a free book? Come and grab it now. They come here, they give me their email address, and then I have an autoresponder that sends them a copy of the book. And then I also have, 3 days later, they get an email, an automatic email that says, how did you like the book? Feel free to respond and let me know how you liked it. And then a reminder for a review later. But for the most part, now they're on my mailing list, and I can market to them. So I want to grow my mailing list. And if it's, by giving away free books, it's very easy to do this kind of landing page right on your website as well. I use Wix, and if you guys are interested, I'm happy to do a walkthrough of like Wix, how to create a page like this on Wix, or how to create one on Mailchimp. I have no problem with that. Sandra, you had a question?
You just said if we were interested. I just want to say yes, I'm definitely interested.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'll do that, and I'll record the session for anybody that misses it. But yeah, I think it's really simple to do, and it's very important. You really need to be capturing email addresses. Okay.
And you said that would provide automatic responses.
Yeah,
and then 3 days.
You can set it up on both sides, whether you're using Mailchimp or Wix. You can set up the autoresponders that says, immediately when they click this form, send them this email. And then you can set up another one that says 3 days after they submit this form, send them this email. And then a week after, send them this email. And that's what I have with my, getting the free book. I just kind of like warm them up. And if you've ever signed up for any kind of freebie, you probably have seen people dribbling in and out of your email, offering you more, asking you more, and trying to move you, get to know you better, or they're trying to like warm you up as a client for them. So this is kind of just like, getting them from perfect stranger to being used to seeing things in their inbox from you. And then as you release new books and things like that, then they'll know who you are. You won't be just dropping in from out of nowhere.
And then the free book that you offer them, is that an e-book?
Yes. So what I do is I create a PDF version of it, and I just I deliver the PDF version of the book as part of the offer that I pull together for them. So I have a picture book, a coloring book, I've got a literacy guide, an audio book, and the original song. So like this is a lot of things that they can get just by signing up for my email. So I love adding a lot of value, because when you give somebody this much value, they are, they want to do something for you too. So they're going to want to, give you a review. They're going to want to provide you with information, or when they see something pop into their inbox, they're more likely, if in my opinion, to pay attention to it if they know it came from somebody that provided them with a lot of value. So I don't care if they want to go in and I mean, the literacy guide itself, I created for teachers. So this kind of a a guide is very helpful for parents or teachers. So as you're creating things that you're going to use for yourself, why not have a little resource area that you can, where you can give some of this information to people? I'm thinking about you, Kathy, because you've got all these ASL resources and things like that. So maybe when somebody signs up for your website, they can go to a page where they've got all access to some great information that you've already gathered and collected that they could download for themselves if they want it. So
Okay.
here's another, what will make your book more likely to sell? I'm going to say extras. And we'll say this is literacy guide, video book, other things, audio, like extras that maybe help your book to stand out. Focus on your plan that, like what is it that you want to be doing? And then, because I'm afraid to overwhelm you guys, but yes, all of these things, we will definitely have plenty of people that we'll be bringing in and out that can help you with these things. And like Amy offers book trailers and she does read alouds, and her price, she actually reduces her price for people in my group. And that's kind of what I ask them to do. If I'm going to introduce them, number one, they have to be very trustworthy. I have to have used their services. They have to have great customer service and high quality, and do something special for the people that I bring to them. So that's, you'll be able to go right to these folks, or find your own, because you can also do that. I'm not steering you only towards my network, but when you get me, you get my network too, as people that you can trust that will do a great job for you.
Speaking of videos, April, it just reminded me when we were talking about influencers and stuff like that. On YouTube, there's, people who have a fair amount of followers that they just do read alouds. Is that a good venue to investigate, do you think, April? Is that
Absolutely.
okay?
Yes. And there are some that will read they just want permission to read the book. And there are others who have like a humongous following that will ask you to pay for something. And I had one that cost me like $250 to for her to read my book, and she produced a video of her reading it, and she gave me access to the video. So it was kind of like I was sponsoring that session. So for the $250, I think I got like 100,000 views of my video. So sometimes
lucrative.
it's worth it. You have to, kind of weigh the thing, whether or not it's going to be something that's going to be beneficial for you or not. Take a look at the cost benefit. Sometimes it makes sense to do that. Okay. So where and how will you sell your book? So if you're trying to plan together, then you need to know, who are you selling to? How are you going to sell? There are online retailers, right? So we've got Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Walmart, and you'll have to create your book listing and as part of preparing to sell for these online retailers, you're going to want to have a short description, a long description, some messages and images that are going to resonate. So, that's part of what you'll do there. For libraries, if you want to be in a library, you're going to want to have a pitch. You're going to want to have a list of libraries. And you're also going to want to have a publicity kit, or I'll call it a press kit. Long roundabout way of saying, of answering the original question is, why do I need a press kit? To get media attention, press for your book, whether it's the local radio station, whether it's, a high ranking person, a high influencer. These are some of the people that you might want to send a more professional look at who you are. So let's just walk through something for a second. Here I am. Let me do media kit. Here's Darlene Press Kit. Okay, so this is Darlene Ford's press kit, and I'm just going to make this fit to the page. Okay, so remember we talked about the barrel racer's dream. So she put this media kit together, and now as she's reaching out to other influencers who are like really big in barrel racing, or you know, however these, or you know, even libraries, she can include her press kit. Now this is a very professional looking cover. It doesn't need to be huge. This is 5 pages. Doesn't have to be huge. It's got information about her author, her book. So it's got a short description here, some data about, you know, the ISBNs, what information that they need for the book. It has a little information about the author, and it has some Q&A. So if they want to write a blog post, an article, do something to appear in, you know, in a magazine, for example, because I'm sure that there are like rodeo magazines and things like that that people subscribe to who are horse lovers or whatever. They might want to just take information on this like Q&A. So it's like an author interview. It also has some good pictures of interior of the book, and then some contact information. So with these things that she put together, short description, long description, a cover, you know, cute little pictures of what's inside the book. These are all things you're going to have to put together anyway. So when somebody from a news station receives like an email from you that says, hey, I really love that you write about this topic, or hey, I really like this article that you wrote. I think your readers might be interested in a book that I'm writing, and I'm attaching my press kit. If you'd like to schedule something, let me know. If you're interested in an interview, let me know. And then give it some time, give it a few days, give it a week. But when you attach something like a press kit, look at how much more professional this is than just Joe Schmo who wrote a book. And you know, the person at the other end doesn't know if this is a self-published book that looks like, you know, a 6-year-old wrote it, or is it a professional, high-quality book that they would want to write about. So get their attention with a beautiful media kit. I did post in the Facebook group. I posted a link to a video that Lyda McClellan did for me in a previous work group. It's called Getting Media Attention for Your Book. When you listen to that lesson, she talks about everything that goes into a press kit. She also talks about how to find people, influencers, media, how to find them, how to find their contact information, and how to move forward with this press kit, how to use it. So I highly recommend watching that video. It's about an hour long, and it is so jam-packed full of stuff. You're going to want to watch it over and over again. I still go back to it because there is so filled with stuff. And we will have Lyda McClellan visiting the author work group and doing like a Ask Me Anything session. And she also does speak about marketing and publicity and is going to be there for us as well. So you will have access to her. I'm just going to pause for a second before I go back to, let's see. Oops. Okay, back to here. So we talked about libraries. You're going to want to send a press kit to them. If you have specific stores or bookstores that you want to be able to reach out to carry your book in your local area, then start making a list of them. Start making a contact list, right? Get some phone numbers, get some emails. And when you're done with your press kit, perhaps you just want to send an email with a link with the press kit attached and a little pitch for the store. And then follow up with a phone call in a week or so. Other people feel more comfortable just dropping into the store and talking with someone, because that's the best, they feel like that's the best way of communicating for them. You don't have to be somebody that you're not. Be authentic. Do what makes you feel most comfortable. I tend to be a bit of an introvert, so I'm probably more likely to just send an email and maybe then call. But even the phone call will make me a little bit, uneasy, because it just doesn't come natural to me. Where we're going to meet Tara on Thursday, who is the most incredible sales and marketing person that I know, and she's just like go-getter on the phone, talking to people. Like, that's just her personality. So just make it yours, make it comfortable, but don't be afraid to step a little bit out of your comfort zone as well, because you need to do that to grow. You're a writer, and I know a lot of people will say, I just want to write. Can somebody else just do the marketing for me? Not very well. They really can't. They can coach you, they can help you, but who knows, who loves, and who is passionate about your book more than you are? So if you can take that passion and you can connect with people in an authentic way, that's the best way that you're going to be able to market and sell your book. So just step out of that comfort zone. You'll find that it's easier than you think. And all of a sudden, you'll end up with some really good, some good pitches that work well. And you'll be that much more confident the next time and the next time that you are able to connect with these folks. Okay. Let me just look real quickly. Amy just made me a trailer. She did a great job. Yes, Amy is amazing when it comes to book trailers. Amy Weaver. And I actually am scheduling her to speak to the group as well, probably as we're a little further along, so that you guys can, actually get the information when it's a little bit easier for you to process it and work through getting your videos. Can you show
Amy on the Facebook group?
Say that again?
Is Amy on the Facebook group?
No, Amy is a speaker that I bring in from time to time to talk about, and she does my videos, and I will put her contact information up. She did a video for, let me just go here. She did a Barrel Racer's Dream, since we've been talking about that. She did that video for Darlene, and she just does an amazing job. She did hold on, let's see. Here we go. Here's an example of when I say, a read aloud or a book trailer. This is kind of what I'm talking about.
I Will Always Love You by Dr. Bree Terns. The day I first met you, the sun was shining brightly. You looked up at me and I smiled. I think you smiled too. I always help you.
So you kind of get the sense of it's another marketing tool, right? So whether you're doing a book trailer or you're doing a read aloud like that, there are so many ways you can use those. You can post it on social media. You can upload it to YouTube. You can add it to your Amazon page. You can add it to your author page on Amazon, Author Central. So as I'm planning to do marketing for my book, I always add having like a book trailer or teaser and a beautifully done read aloud like that, because I just think it's something that just helps bring attention to your book. Okay, and so I will post her contact info as well as a follow-up for today. Now, if you're like Sarah and you have followers, then marketing to those followers should also be on your plan. Announcing, bringing them along your journey in an authentic way will be so much more helpful than anything else that you'll be able to do, because you don't want to be bombarding them with like, buy me, buy my book, that kind of thing all the time. Your followers, people that you are already connected to on social media, they're going to be excited when they hear that you're writing a book. Don't be afraid to drop a sample of a cover, or to just talk about the process. Today met with my illustrator, and here's my first peek at my character. Or I have writer's block today, trying to put together a marketing plan. I'm not a marketing guru, and put like some funny, silly thing, silly meme or something. Like people care and they want to know. And then when you get, 3 months later, when your book's ready to launch, you've got them, been through your journey with you. And so 2 weeks before, a week before, days before, like, what's the plan to take these people who already know you, follow you, love you, to the point where when you click publish and it's out there, they're going to go and buy your book. So you can think about that as part of the plan too, right? You want to look at all of the different ways that you're going to sell your book. And then if that's the case, what do you need? Perhaps for me, I would just make a list of the different posts that I have. There are tools out there where you can actually create your posts ahead of time, your social media posts, and you can schedule it like, okay, this is going to go out the week before, 2 weeks before, the day before, hour 1, hour 2, hour 3. Like, you can do all that ahead of time so that it's all scheduled. And when you've actually launched your book, you're not going crazy with trying to do all this yourself, by yourself in real time. So, we can talk more about that as well. But there's also events. Do you want to would you want to sell your books at book crafts and fairs? Do you want to do school visits? Do you want to go to conferences? Are you going to go to the library and do read alouds? Like, these are all valid things that you can be doing to sell your book. So back up, and if you say, I love school visits. Now I have some authors that I've worked with, and one in particular who's an expert in school visits. 90% of his sales from his books come from school visits. Of course, that's a bad thing right now with what's going on with, school visits. There's nothing going on with the quarantine, but that's how he makes his money, is school visits. So his marketing plan has been very focused around schools, building that relationship with them, making a list of schools. And he's done that where he started with his small area and just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and just kept going out, making the lists of each and every school, the contact information for the people, whether he had to make phone calls, whether he found things on the web. But he researched all of that ahead of time, made his list, got his pitches, created some postcards, some posters. So his marketing plan was all really detailed around what he was going to do with schools. You may feel so very differently. I've had other authors say, I do not have time to do school visits, nor do I really want to be reading my book at schools. I'm full-time job, it's just not my thing. So your marketing plan wouldn't have, those kinds of things in it. So you kind of get and when the other thing with events as well is, if you want to plan a big book launch event when your actual book goes live, start getting that into your marketing plan early too, and start thinking, where would I do it? Who would I invite? How would I publicize it? Because you're going to have to probably schedule an event like a book launch event months and months and months ahead. If you wait until you click publish and then go, okay, let's see where I can have my book signing, you're going to find yourself scheduling 4 to 6 months out for the book signing. So those are the kinds of things that you need to just be aware of, and start thinking and planning the best you can now, and just start your marketing plan. It will fill in. Like Sarah said, you're going to have little things, and then you're going to start thinking about other things. Somebody will mention something and you'll be like, oh yeah, I could do that too. Or, hey, that's a great website. Or, hey, thank you for that lead. I'm going to add that to my marketing plan. And then just allow that to grow and start doing what you can, hopefully without feeling too overwhelmed. For me, I feel really overwhelmed when I have all these things in my head and nowhere to put them. But by using a mind map, Excel, Word, whatever you want to use, and starting to organize those thoughts, now all of a sudden, this clutter of things in your head starts to become, oh, that's my marketing plan. And your plan turns into an execution, right? You want to execute your plan. It becomes an action plan with dates. Okay, this blog, my plan is to schedule a blog tour. Here are the contacts that I have, a list of people that I'm trying to get scheduled. That ends up turning into, on, the week before, I have scheduled a blog tour. On this day, it's this blog, this day's this blog, and you've got a schedule. So your marketing plan turns into an actual schedule of activities that are going to happen prior to, you launching your book. I'll just take a pause. Let me just look and see what kind of Facebook page should you have. Personal page, business page, public figure page. It just depends on what is your authentic self going to look like. If you are, a single author, and again, it kind of goes into what's your goal. My goal started as Nana writing a book for her for her grandkids, and it turned into April the coach helping other people who are building, are creating their own books. So it's my things have kind of morphed. Now I've got, a page that I need to update to make it more business oriented rather than, my little Labradoodle book oriented. So think about who you are. If your plan is to make a business out of this and do, have multiple books published for others, you might have a totally different approach of what makes sense for you, a business page versus Kathy Markath, the author, who focuses on expertise and loves ASL. Like, you just want to be that authentic person. A Facebook page for that is perfectly fine. And everybody should have a website. It doesn't have to be huge. A few pages is just fine. But if you are a business, that website will look very different than if you are a single person that's written a few books and just wants a place for people to go to learn more about them and get links to buy their books. Okay. How often to post? So I hear that you should post a couple of times a day. And everybody that I have, I do a lot of training and things myself. I sign up for a lot of courses because I've got this desire to just learn more and more and more. So areas that I'm weak on, I will sign up. And social media has never been my best power. I don't have a superpower for social media, but I have taken a number of courses, and I think of the 4 or 5 I've taken, they each have a different recommendation. So it depends on who you talk to. But for the most part, if you do like a 9 a.m., 9 p.m. kind of schedule, it captures people that are coming in at different times of the day. And they even say you might want to do, like, you could post the same thing in different places to catch different people. So if you create material in a way, for example, if I write a blog post and it's on my website and it's about anti-bullying, like it's just something that I wrote and I put together about why anti-bullying is so important. Now I've got an anti-bullying book, so it's in line with what I would do. So if I want to take that blog post and I want to share it, I can share it to my Instagram. I can share it to my Facebook by just sharing. I can also create a pin on Pinterest. I can post it on LinkedIn. I can tweet it on Twitter. Like, make the best. Don't make yourself nuts. You creating specific things for each and every platform, but make the best out of what you've got there, and reuse that content so that it's as powerful as possible, and without having to, create 20 different pieces of content. But some people say, just start where you are. And I would say just try to do a little more often. If you can post once a day, great. If you're like nowhere near being able to do that, maybe you can promise yourself, I'll post once a week. Just think of where you are and try to get a little bit closer to build that relationship with the people who are following you. Okay. And thinking about marketing, a lot of it is, how are you going to generate buzz for your launch? So I think about things like, emails to your list, right? You've got you've got a list of people you've been gathering. Don't forget, we said we're going to start putting people into our email lists and getting them to sign up. So now, how are you going to generate buzz from those people that are on the email list? Well, you're going to have some emails. So one of the things that you're going to want to do is create some emails, put them aside so they'll be all ready to go and schedule and get out. Are you going to do any appearances? Like I said, a blog tour, a media outlet. What about podcasts? Things like that. So these help generate buzz for you. Social media postings, like I said, you can schedule those. And you're probably thinking right now, oh my God, this is so much. It's a lot, right? You right now are working on, you've got a book written, you want to get done with your editing so that the illustrator can get started. Once the illustrator takes your stuff and starts working on it, it's going to be a few months of sketching, character design, coloring. And so while that's happening, you're going to get antsy. You're going to be like, like, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? This is what you can do. Focus on these other things, your marketing plan, things that are going to help you move forward, and just take it one step at a time. If this plan here is too, this is, let me go back to the center here. This is a big plan of, hold on. What I'm trying to do is shrink it up. But so if I'm looking at this part and I'm like, oh my God, there's too much to do, shrink it up. Like, close the things that, you're going to focus on. Maybe you can even click here and say, okay, this week I'm going to focus on this area. Everything else I'm just going to shrink up because it's just too much to look at right now. Focus on this area. And when this area is done, shrink it. And then say, okay, now let me look at, who's going to help me. Start just thinking, brainstorming. You may jump all over the place, but don't feel like you can't take a step back, and just one step at a time. Everything you cross off the list, everything you fill out, helps you just pull that plan together. It's going to be this big. And then, you brainstorm and you get everything all over the place. And then eventually you say, okay, let's look at what's reasonable to put into action, right? You can brainstorm on all these opportunities and different things you can do, and then just figure it out, brainstorm, pull things together, get a more workable plan that you feel comfortable with. And if you need help, you can get help to do it. I'm not really good at writing influential emails or things that are going to make people take action. But I have somebody on my team that I give my boring text to, and he makes something amazing out of it. So, don't be afraid to reach out to people that can do that and to get those things done. If I'm going to create something like a logo or graphic stuff is not in my wheelhouse, but I'd much rather pay $50 to a graphic designer to make me a logo, take my cover and make it 3D and beautiful. Give me a couple of other things I can plug into my website, because I'll spend a week doing it and it won't look nearly as good. So you can get help. You don't have to go it alone. There's people that I can connect you to, or you can reach out to in the author community for recommendations, and for people that are tried and true and that they have used that has done a good job for them. So don't be afraid to ask other authors. Okay, and then how are you going to drive sales post-launch? So everybody does, good planning up to, okay, now I'm launching. But then when the launch is over, you still have to make sure that your plan extends far beyond the launch, because you don't want, okay, here's your sales up, because you created a lot of buzz, and then they just do this and just take. You want to think also beyond that. How are you going to keep things going? Could be, continuing to work with influencers, giving away free ebooks, continuing to meet with, on radio and on television, Amazon ads, Facebook ads. Like, you can have these kinds of things in your plan. And again, you don't have to do it yourself. There are people that are experts at Amazon ads and Facebook ads, and I can give you an overview of these things as part of our work group on how you can do it yourself. But if you don't feel comfortable, then I can connect you with somebody who is more comfortable and able to help you with that. Okay? So that's the create the plan part. The develop the content is what we were talking about. Yes, you've got to have a plan, but that content is going to be, you're going to need to put the content together to be able to fulfill the plan. So having a press kit with the information that's needed. And again, you're going to go and watch that video from Lyda. She's going to do an amazing job explaining that. And I will get Lyda in here to talk about press kits. Audio, video. If you need an audio and video as part of your marketing plan, then you're going to want to actually reach out at the appropriate time, because first of all, you're going to need to be at a certain point with your book before you can actually have a read aloud done of it. But you'll have to create that content. Maybe if you're going to be doing events, maybe you're going to want to do a brochure, an order form, bookmarks, stickers. Like, these are things that you'll want. I'm going to also add emails, if there's emails or pitches that you're going to need to create. And we'll do emails, print, social media posts. You can definitely create them ahead of time and schedule them. So that's not as bad as it once was. Okay. Graphics, things like, pins for Pinterest. You might want to create some pins or graphics for your book and to use when you're starting to do your marketing. And then the communication part is just sending the communications. If that's part of your plan, you're going to also have your website. That's a big part of communication, right? And all you really need is an about the author, about your book, and grab people's email address. If you want to do a subscriber or a landing page, you can do that. And other than those 3 pages, you don't really need more than that. If you want more than that, but then by all means, you can take orders on your website. You can add blogging to your website. I will be focusing on how to do an easy website through Wix. And I'll actually walk through that for you guys, for anybody that wants to give that a try. And we will, I can, give you a very easy way to implement this for yourself. Or once again, if it's better to get help by somebody, then that's always an option as well. And don't forget the importance of building relationships and connections. Are there organizations, celebrities, people who are passionate about something that you're writing about? Media, magazines. So all of this, there's a lot of information that you'll learn from Lida about finding people that are the right people to pitch to, and getting that media attention. But also build relationships. Really start building those strong relationships. I have, for example, with my books, the Labradoodle community, because my books are about Labradoodles, right? They're fanatical. But if I come out of nowhere and I just start posting, buy my book, how responsive are they really going to be? If I'm on those message boards, those Facebook groups, and I'm sharing about my dogs, I'm sharing about things, I'm commenting on other people's posts, I'm getting to know the admin and let the admin know, hey, by the way, I'm writing a book, what's allowed? Is it allowed for me to to share some of that with your the people in the group, or should I, what's the rules when I'm ready to release things? And they'll give you an idea, and just respect their rules. There are ways you can communicate things that, where you can kind of sneak things in, even if it is a no promotion group. I had my dog wearing glasses, reading my new book, and I posted it. And they were like, oh my God, that's so cute. And I said, yeah, he's reading my new book. I'm all excited. And they're like, post a link. I want to buy it. So it ended up turning into, people asking me for the link. And in the deep comments, I posted links and people went and bought it. But it's just a different way of handling versus like, hey, here's my new book. Everybody go buy it. So just but build relationships in the communities that are going to support you, because that's going to be where you're going to get the most, when you're engaged with that community, that's when you're going to get the most responsive things. And there are mom groups, there are, groups for everything that you're doing. There's preschool teacher groups, so much, anti-bullying organizations. There are charitable associations that are engaged in some of the things that you do. For example, with the Labradoodle community, there's a lot of Labradoodles are therapy dogs, and so there's a therapy group organization and some of those folks that are doing therapy with their dogs are actually using my books to read to kids and to get them more comfortable, or letting them read the books to the dog so they can help the kids get more comfortable. So it was just a happy accident that somebody reached out to me to buy a bunch of books. And she sent me a picture of her and her therapy dog. And I was like, oh, how great. And she said, yeah, I use your books for this reason. So I sent her a bunch of stuff and I used it as a promotion, but it also taught me, okay, I need to be connecting with more of these therapy teams because they could benefit from my book. And, it's a sales avenue, it's a promotional avenue, and it's just a brand new light bulb that went off for me to be able to expand in that area for sales and marketing. Okay, so Sandra says, are there some really great examples of about the author that you can suggest? Well, I mean, about the author really tells about who you are. So everything is different. I have uploaded 2 sample press kits to the Facebook group. I uploaded Darlene's, my own, and then there's 2 other people that just finished, 2 other of my authors that just finished, and I'm asking them if it's okay to share their sample pages. So I'll just keep giving samples. And then the other thing I would say is, if you're looking in your own niche, you can look at, and you're looking on Amazon, go look at what other author pages look like. Because everybody that's here, let me just go to Amazon, they all have about the author. And so let's just say puppy books for kids. So here everybody's got dog training for kids. So we'll click on this. There's an author page. Well, there's author information in the description, right? So if I go down here, about the author. So everybody has an about the author page. And then they also have, if you click on their name here, this is their author central page, where you can follow them. You can see anything that they've written about themselves, any videos they've shared. And this person didn't really put much on here. But poke around, take a look. There are some funny, like, what I would say, make it authentically you. If you're a funny person that likes to have a little snarkiness, and then put it out there. I mean, I'm a grandmother. I love to help people. It's, for me, it's about my labradoodles, my family. So I try to be as authentic as I can be. And then I write up what I need to say, and then give it to my editor or to my sales and marketing guy and say, hey, can you make this sound better? Because I sound boring on my own. But they always put the little bit of magic on it and make it seem better, make me more interesting. So they could do that for you too, or even share it in the author group and let other people like give you little tweaks to it. Because it's always easier when you're reading somebody else's to help tweak it a little than it is to try to say something about yourself. So let's use one another to make it really good. Okay. Anybody else have any questions? I'll be here for another half an hour. So if anybody has anything, I think we're done with like the whole marketing. I feel like
I had asked the question. I don't know if I missed the answer. April, I had asked, when is a good time to create this Amazon author page?
Yes, thank you for asking. And I'm sorry if I missed that. So you cannot create your author page until you actually have a book out there. So once you have a book, then you can go into Author Central, create your author page, and then claim your book, add information about you. You can even tie it to your blog. You can add images. I can show you what I've done if it's, let's see. All right, so if I click on mine, come on. Okay, so here I put a little bit about me. I have all my books claimed, pictures of me and my grandkids, videos, blog posts. So things that I want, that anything that I feel like will help them get a better picture of who I am, I do that. And I think it's a good opportunity because if people are following you, then they may come to this page, and as new things are released, if, for example, I usually follow the authors that I'm working with, and when they have new things that they release or post here, I get a notification that says, you know, Betsy Church has just released a new book. So I'll go click on it and I'll share it for her or do something else. So as you build a fan base, people are going to start following you. And when they click to follow you, they're going to come to your author page. So it's nice if you have something that's engaging for them.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I did have one more question.
Sure. Go ahead, Jennifer.
You mentioned you filled a big gap. I always wondered what a press kit was, and thank you for taking the time to explain that. And I understand what a press kit. Another buzzword I've heard was, I think it's book swag. Have you heard of that?
Book swag?
Yes, a swag bag. Something like when you're doing marketing, you should send your swag bag out to various people that you want to generate interest before your launch. I always wondered what that was.
I never heard that term before.
Okay.
Swag bag, like BAG?
Yeah, or book swag. My understanding was that you're sending like an actual physical copy of the book and maybe bookmarks and like different things to people, like actual physical book swag. Yeah.
How to use, oh, wait a minute. I just saw something else. Book swag. It's author swag, book swag. So I think this is just like, I think what it's just saying is like a bookmark, your book, you know, brochure, sales thing. So to me, something like this, I think would be used for like influencers.
So you send it the physical copy to?
Yeah. So it depends on the influencer. Like there are some really great examples. One of the authors that I can think of is Diane. Diane, who does, let me see, hold on. She does I'm Not Just a Scribble. Diane Alber. And I remember not just Diane, but others where like they targeted like major influencers and they wanted to connect with them. And so for those guys, you know, they put together this gorgeous kit with a bow on it, and they sent, you know, a copy of the book. They sent some swag like magnets and bookmarks, and just put together something really beautiful with a bow on it and sent it away. I remember something similar with one of the authors named Courtney she had a Christmas book, and she was like sending them to people that were like really major influencers. So she was sending this gorgeous box. And have you ever just gotten a gift box that you know, in the mail, and you open it up, or like your, you know, special makeup kits, and they have bows and they've got all this stuff in it, and you're like, oh, wow, it just generates excitement. So to me, I think you have to kind of walk a fine line between what is your budget to do something like that. And, you know, if you have a major Christmas book and your Christmas sales are like the major part of the year that you're going to sell for that book, maybe it makes sense to get, like, to identify a dozen huge influencers and send them this beautiful gift set or beautiful gift box that will get them talking and get excitement generated. That might be a perfect promotion or a perfect part of your marketing kit. For other people, myself, I don't tend to have a huge budget. So if an influencer is okay with, you know, writing something or blogging about my book and just getting a copy of the ebook, that's wonderful. If they're going to be actually reading it, taking pictures of it, then I will order an author copy and have it shipped directly to them so that they have a hard cover. And, you know, that's kind of a cost of just the publicity that I'm going to get. And I'll make sure they have a hardcover, maybe a plush to go with it. And that way they can, when they're sharing and they're taking pictures of their kid reading it, they can't do that with an ebook very easily. It's not as nice as seeing a child holding a physical copy of a book. Okay. Anybody
Thanks,
else?
April.
You're welcome. Okay. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate your time and hanging out with me. I will post the recording if you didn't get to be here for the whole thing. And we'll see you on Thursday, everybody.